Shalom Aleichem, everyone. Hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful week. This week is Parshas Vaera, and amazing pasuk. Perek Vav, pasuk Yud Gimel, easy to remember. 6:13. Vayidaber Hashem el Moshe ve'el Aaron. Hashem speaks to Moshe and Aaron. Vayitzavim el bnei Yisrael ve'el Paro melech Mitzrayim. And he commanded Bnei Yisrael, and he commanded Paro lahotzi ez bnei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim. He commanded them to take Bnei Yisrael out of Mitzrayim. So very, very striking pasuk, because what's difficult, I understand Vayitzavim el Paro, but what does it mean Vayitzavim el Bnei Yisrael? Bnei Yisrael is also commanded to release the Avodim. Very difficult, very strange. So Rav Chaim Shmulevitz made this Yerushalmi famous. The Yerushalmi is found in Rosh Hashanah, Perek Gimel Mishnah Hey. The Yerushalmi says, what were the Jews commanded over here? And this was one of the commands. They were given a number of mitzvahs that were given before Kabbalas HaTorah. One of them was this mitzvah of Shiluach Avadim. They were given Shabbos, they were given Paraduma, they were given a number of mitzvahs, and among the mitzvahs that they were given, Dafka now is the mitzvah of Shiluach Avadim, that if you have an Eved Ivri, to go ahead and release, free your Eved Ivri at the end of his term of service. At Yovel, you release your Eved Ivri. And everyone's bothered. What's Pshat? Shabbos. They kept Shabbos in the Midbar. Other mitzvahs that they were given, Paraduma, they kept in the Midbar. This mitzvah of Shiluach Avadim, they will not have Avadim in the Midbar. They will not have Avadim. This will not be knowing until 14 years after they get into Eretz Yisrael. Why in the world are they being commanded this mitzvah now? Rav Chaim Shmulevitz in the Sichos Musar explains that now is the perfect time, because to release an Eved is a really hard thing to do. You worked hard. It's your hard-earned, if you will. You worked hard to acquire this Eved. He's become part of your family. He's integrated into your household, and now what do you have to do? The Torah says it's time to let him go. Release your Eved. And that's a hard thing to do. And in fact, Bnei Yisrael struggle with this during the time before Galus Bavel, and for that, Hashem in Yirmiyahu accuses them. He goes, you're going to Galus because you didn't fulfill this mitzvah. It's a hard mitzvah to do. So timing is critical. Hashem commands them now, even though it's not relevant now. It's not relevant now, but he's commanding them now that when you become an owner of Avadim, know how you're supposed to treat your Eved. And now's the perfect time to hear this, because now they themselves understand the life of an Eved, the hardship of an Eved, how difficult it is, and therefore treat your Avadim properly. When it's time to say go, they get to go. And that's a tremendous lesson. Says Rav Chaim Shmulevitz, timing is everything, because we'll always have times where we can hear, and at times where we're shut off, when we can't properly hear. And when we can hear, we need to listen well, and we need to be makabel upon ourselves. Sometimes we'll have bursts of inspiration, and they disappear. They don't last. They're gone very, very quickly. And most of us let those bursts of inspiration just expire. Says Rav Chaim Shmulevitz, this was a time when Bnei Yisrael could hear. There was a burst. Yes, of course we should release our Avadim, and that's when you need to take action. That's when they're given the command. That's when Bnei Yisrael would have had the resolve, and therefore to keep that resolve going forward, to make symbolic acts, nekabel, kabbalos, to keep resolve going. That's the message that is shared with us by Rav Chaim Shmulevitz. That's the message of this parsha. That's the mitzvah of Shiluach Avadim. Wishing everyone a beautiful Shabbos Kodesh.